All right, so let's get started then. On the top of page 7, we're looking at nuclear facts to remember, and what we want to know is something that's called AZ notation. Where the number of protons in an atom is the atomic number. And that goes down the bottom. And it's important when we come to balancing our nuclear equations that we have that down the bottom, because this is also the number of positive charges, isn't it? And the number up the top here, the A, is the mass number. And this is protons plus neutrons. Atomic mass. And we put, when we're, as I said, when we're writing nuclear equations, the mass has to be at the top. So for nuclear equations, mass is top, charge is on the bottom. And this X is the symbol for the element. And if it happened to be an ion, like we saw on the previous page, we would put the charge for the ion up here in this top right-hand corner. Does that make sense? Now, this is really flipped around from how elements are presented on the periodic table. If you pull out your formula sheets and have a look at your periodic table, what have we got up in this top left-hand corner? Z. We've got the atomic number up here. And what have we got down the bottom but the mass? Okay, so it's flipped completely around. But the reason we flip it around from the way it's written on the periodic table is we want to be able to find our elements in order of adding a proton, for one thing. It makes sense to have that as the arrangement on the periodic table. But we want to be able to calculate this is the convention for, like I said, in our nuclear reactions, that the charge is on the bottom and the mass is on the top. Now, they're always going to be whole numbers. Ooh, how about I've got P? B. Okay, because these are always isotopes. It's not just the average relative atomic mass from the periodic table. So I'm never going to, up here for the mass for manganese, for example, I wouldn't write 54.94. It can't be that. It's got to be one isotope, so it's probably going to be like 55, for example. Yeah, so they're always whole numbers. Does anybody have a question about this AZ notation? No? Okay, well how about you can then go on and do the questions on page 7 and all the way over to the end of page 8. Thank you.